Greetings, everyone. Greetings and welcome. My name is Slayheim, and today I want to talk about EverQuest's producer's letter from October 2025. And I just want to kind of focus on a couple things that kind of really bothered me. And I wasn't going to make this video because I saw this a couple weeks ago and I was just like, "Oh, man, that just looks rough." So I wanna kinda highlight a couple of things. If you're interested in more of a deep dive, I was actually inspired by EQ Progression. He did an incredible video on this, deep diving everything, hilarious thumbnail that just kinda captures what you're gonna see in just a moment. And also, he did, like, his own trailer. So basically, the big takeaway is, I'm going to scroll to the end here. I'll post a link if you want to kind of read through it yourself. So we're going to get to this picture in just a moment. So just bear with me. So they announced the name of the 30-second expansion of EverQuest. It's called Shattering of Row. So here's this. Let me set the stage for what those three words really mean for all the souls in Norath. Druzil Row has been murdered. Now that I have your attention, let me explain. A cataclysmic explosion has shattered the plane of magic, killing Druzzle Rowe, and the only survivor is Firiona V. The Burning Prince, Solasek Rowe, blames Firiona V and all mortals for causing Druzzle Rowe's death. No one can be sure while Firiona lies unconscious in the plane of growth. But Solasek Rowe is done with waiting, for he has suffered his final indignity with Drozel Rowe's murder. His rage burns hotter than it has in centuries, and his wrath will ignite the plains. Now, with magic itself sundered and storms of unstable magical energy sweeping across both Norath and the plains, Solasek Ro seeks to end the pact that has protected mortals since their birth, and he's already gained support. Who are his allies? Who among the gods will rally their followers to aid in stopping them? Will you heed the call to help or hinder? And so does this all sound familiar to you? It sounds familiar to me, and it seems like in 2002, in Planes of Power, we've been through all this. That expansion kind of had its natural conclusion. We kind of stepped up as mortals. We fought the gods, and so here's the thing: like if everything is a cataclysm, then it really doesn't feel cataclysmic. You know what I mean? So EverQuest, I just feel like has basically been on life support. I get a subscription every once in a while. I kind of poke my head in the door, just kind of see what's going on. I might molo a little bit. Everything kind of seems okay in Plane of Knowledge. Everyone's just kind of hanging out. Everyone's hanging out in the guild hall. People got some stuff on the bazaar, and then you get your mercenary, and you just kind of go and mess around a little bit, gain a level, get hit with like 4,000 AA that is just auto granted to you now. The game has just kind of really lost its soul, and I truly believe that. I mean, this game was incredible. The vision, Brad's Brad's amazing direction, all this stuff, and now, like 2 decades later, here we are again, where everything's just like this regurgitation of this content and of all these things that are played out. And now one of the things that stood out to me is so this art in the background, it's kind of cool, right? Like it's interesting. It's kind of like pixelated. It seems like something you would find in a retro RPG, let's say, or like an anime or something like that. It doesn't really seem something that of like EverQuest. It doesn't really fit the vibe. I mean, and you can even tell here, like this EverQuest logo is kind of superimposed on this, and like there's just a stark contrast there. But the main thing is like how could they do this where you have Jen Chan, who's I'm sure she's a great individual. She seems really nice. She seems passionate about the game. It's nothing against her, but man, this is kind of rough because it just seems like okay, well, first of all, this is kind of imposed on this, and I didn't notice this at all until I watched EQ Progression's video, but you can just see kind of like you can kind of see like a sliver of the green screen here. Now, this is something that I can do And I'm horrible at thumbnails. I'm horrible at editing. You'll never really find much editing on this channel. Every once in a while, I might slap together a thumbnail in Paint 3D or Canva or whatever, and in just like, 10 minutes, I could probably come up with something better than this. There's like a little auto select feature, and you can kind of crop yourself out in Paint 3D, and then you can take like a little eraser, or you can take like a little highlighter and just kind of get little areas that it might have missed. And I mean, come on, you guys are, you're a studio, you have all this money. This is horrible. So here's the thing, just and her expression is just like, oh man, it's almost like another day in the office. She's kind of walking down the hall. Someone's like, hey, here, would you mind holding on to this prop so we can just take a really quick like PR picture? Yeah, sure, whatever. Maybe she's not even involved in this, but just look. Drizzle Rowe has been murdered. The stakes are high, right? So it's like just this dry expression, you got your polo on, you basically have your office attire, you have your smartwatch on. Like this isn't even can't you just try to like get into it a little bit more? Can't you like, just kind of get into it some? So it's just like the art is out of place. Jen is out of place. The stupid prop is stupid. You can see the green screen. Like, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? This is EverQuest. And and what did I just have so much like on my mind that I can't even. I'm still processing all this, but like, okay, so Furiona V, right? She's kind of like, she kind of became like this, almost like this sex symbol, she's on the cover art and everything's great. She's always in need of rescuing. She's always into some kind of trouble. We got to rescue her. But just this whole thing with the planes is like really played out, and it's funny, but it's also just kind of sad that this became EverQuest. You know what I mean? Just a game that was just once so imaginative and groundbreaking and incredible, and so many amazing people worked on it, and how much it's stagnated, and how much I feel like Daybreak is just kind of, it's almost like holding a dinosaur's head above the water, and it's just like, what are we doing here, guys? You have the cash, you have everything, and all those people that just they're so, I guess they feel like maybe they've invested too much now at this point with, just farming Chrono, and, just they have all their accounts and just all those legacy items and all the work they put into it. I get it. I mean, I get it. I have my characters for, more than 20 years now, and that's they're my babies, I wanna I like having them there. I like seeing all my little pixels. I like seeing my epic weapon that I got, and all that stuff. But it's just kind of sad. And so, but what is a good solution? Check out this amazing clip that Class and Cool was able to capture from Sean, one of the developers of Monsters and Memories, a former EverQuest developer, and what his idea would be to provide a solution here to Daybreak. It's something they could do. Just check this out and how amazing it is. This here says it all. I have it queued up for us.
See, EQ3 has been mentioned a lot. After the EQ Next debacle, I can't say I'm going to look at EQ3 much. I think the more that the company deviates from basically just reskinning EverQuest and then doing like EverQuest Classic Plus, the more they run into the challenge of what does classic mean, right? Like what is EverQuest mean? Sounds like a visual overhaul, much like the Oblivion remake. Zach, I think that's the smartest move. And the thing is, it's kind of a no-brainer if you've got the cash. They charged a sub for that and got rid of all the bullshit microtrans. That right there would make enough cash for them that they could leverage their learnings from that and their cash to make a true successor while operating that as a live game that has ongoing additional content being layered into Classic. Daybreak, if you're watching this, if you haven't considered that fact already, shoot me an email and I'll write it up for you in bullet points, and you can do it.
Yeah, so that's amazing. Sean from Monsters and Memories pretty much says it all, and that's why I believe personally in Monsters and Memories so much, because that is the true kind of spiritual successor to EverQuest. This is something that they massively misunderstand their own product, and it's sad to see it in this state, and you know, it's just it is what it is. It's just it's funny to me. It's sad. It's disappointing. I want EverQuest to do well and succeed, but nowadays we all like I'm into streaming, and whenever I kind of just want to get my fix for EverQuest, I peruse Twitch, YouTube. So who's playing EverQuest? They're playing Project 1999. They're playing Quorum. They're playing well, they were playing THJ before Daybreak nuked it. That's a whole nother thing that we're not going to get into here. But very few people are actually playing like EverQuest live or like Fangbreaker. I guess there's a little Fangbreaker in there, but my point is, it just seems like a very there's a prevalent rot here, and it's sad to see the art go in this direction as well. Man, I miss Keith Parkinson's art. The box cover art was just something I really personally enjoyed. I have like my boxes still, and just kind of every once in a while I go through and just look at all his amazing art. But yeah, this is really sad. Like, this is just so incredibly bad. Wow. Like, I cannot believe that someone at this studio allowed this to go out into the world. Oh my god, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? But anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video, just kind of expressing some of my thoughts, my concerns. I will link EQ Progression's video. That's like a true deep dive, literally paragraph by paragraph, every little thing that they're doing here. They're basically just selling a bunch of stuff, telling you what's on the cash shop, some random events coming up, some stuff that like no one really cares for or is excited about. That's indicative of a producer's letter, and just the same old rehash of the world's in trouble, Firiona's in trouble, we gotta go, and we got to defeat the gods. And but maybe that's what happens when when things just kind of, where do you go from there? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I think there just needs to be a hard reset, and they need to take a look at themselves, at where this game has gone, what it once was, and there is a way. There is a way. So, this is my thoughts. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, have an amazing day. Take care, everyone.